this video, we're going to simplify rational expressions. And remember that these are meant for after you've had a full lesson on the topic. So to simplify a rational expression, we're going to look at two different kinds. We're going to look at monomials first. And remember, mono means one, so we'll have a single term over a single term. And when we are simplifying, we first focus on what we call the coefficients, or those numbers out front. In this case, the 20 and the 30. And we just simplify them like we've always simplified fractions. We ask ourselves, what goes into 20? That also goes into 30. And we try to find that biggest thing, and we divide it out. In this case, it's a 10. So when I divide out a 10 on the top, I get a 2. When I do 30 divided by 10 on the bottom, I get a 3. So then we go to the variables. And if we have the same variable like we do here with the x to the third and the x to the first, what we do is we picture them canceling. That the bottom will cancel 1 off of the top, leaving 2 up there on the top. Or you can think of subtracting those exponents, because when we divide, we subtract exponents. Either way, we get x squared there up on the top. So then we just write down what we're left with. In the numerator, or on the top, we end up with 2x squared. And in the denominator on the bottom, we end up with a 3. We circle it, and we move on to our next example. So for our next example, under the prompt of simplify the rational expression, we're going to need to factor first. So we won't have a monomial and a monomial. Now on the top we have a binomial, a two-termed polynomial, and on the bottom a trinomial. So we're going to factor first. So if we look up there in the top, we ask ourselves, is there anything I can pull out of 2x and 6? And I can divide a 2 out of both of those. So let's deal with the top first. I'll divide a 2 out of 2x and I'll get x, and a 2 out of 6 and I'll get 3. And you can picture multiplying that 2 back in just to make sure you did it right. You'd have 2x plus 6. Now when we go focused down there in the denominator, we have to basically unfoil or reverse foil. What multiplied in the first terms to give us 2x squared? And it can only be 2x and 1x. What multiplies to equal 3? We go to that last term, and only 1 and 3. And now we have to decide who goes with who. If I do 2x times 1, I get 2x. If I do 1x times 3, I get 3x. And you'll notice that 2x plus 3x does not equal 7x. So I just have to pair them the other way. So let's get rid of that pairing, and let's go pair the 2x with the 3 for a 6x, and the 1x with a 1 for a 1x. Now they do add up to 7x, 6x plus 1x. So now we're ready to go unfoil. We'll put our 2x and our x out front. It's the only possibilities. Now we have to be careful because that 2x got paired with the 3. And my 2x here is on the outside. So I need that 3 to be over here on the outside. And that means the 1 is going to be on the inside, a plus and a plus. All right, because the signs are all positive. Now we have to ask ourselves, are there any restrictions? And remember, we find those before canceling by looking at the denominator and asking ourselves, what could go in for x that would make 2x plus 1 equal to 0? What can go in for x that would make x plus 3 equal to 0? And we get x equals negative 1/2 and x equals negative 3, as your teacher taught you how to do in class. Now we're ready to cancel that x plus 3, that x plus 3. And that's going to leave us with a 2 on the top over the 2x plus 1 on the bottom. We'll circle it. We won't forget about our restrictions, and we'll move on to the next problem. So the process is we factor the top, we factor the bottom, we write down our restrictions, then we cancel, and then we circle our answer.